map, no GPS, likes or guarantees, but they left legacies that crossed centuries. They weren't remembered for visible victories, but for a force no one could see: faith. Hebrews 11 isn't an ordinary chapter. It's a secret manual, a spiritual arsenal hidden in words. Inside it are 16 types of faith that shaped history. On this journey, we will unlock the first 4 hidden keys, and you'll understand why those who master these keys change destinies, starting with their own. Get ready to see the invisible. Key 1. The faith that worships the invisible. By faith, Abel offered God a better sacrifice than Cain. He didn't expect applause, returns, or fame. He gave his best because he believed God saw it. Even though he died, his faith kept speaking. Abel's faith is the key of invisible worship. It's when you do right with no one watching, yet heaven records it. It's when the offering matters more than the outcome. This key opens doors where only silence exists. It turns acts into eternal echoes. Key 2. The faith that walks silently with God. By faith, Enoch was taken away so he didn't see death. Why? Because he walked with God, not because he healed, preached, or multiplied bread. He simply walked. Enoch's faith is the key of continuous communion. The noisy generation doesn't understand this faith. It lives in secrecy, not performance. Enoch didn't disappear from earth. He was promoted. Those who walk silently with God live on a different frequency. This faith doesn't shout, but it moves heavens. Key 3. The faith that obeys before the rain. By faith, Noah built an ark on dry land. It had never rained. They called him crazy, but he heard a voice and obeyed. Noah's faith is the key of prophetic obedience, doing before understanding, building even without crisis, working in the invisible. This faith protects you before chaos begins. It's a faith that acts, not waits. A faith that shields generations with hammer and silence. Those who hold this key don't depend on the weather. They answer the call. Key 4. The faith that walks without a map. By faith, Abraham obeyed and left without knowing where he was going. He left everything: city, culture, comfort. Not for a visible promise, but because he trusted the one who promised. Abraham's faith is the key of blind renunciation and direction. Walking based on voice, not route. When everyone needs to see, you only hear. This obedience changes lineages. This key opens paths no one has ever walked. It doesn't show the destination, but guarantees you will arrive. These are the first 4 hidden keys of faith in Hebrews 11. If they've stirred something in you, wait. In the next part, we will see the faith that breaks biological logic, the faith that surrenders what is loved, the faith that declares the future, and the faith that waits for the invisible as inheritance. And you will realize, faith is not a feeling. It's a structure. Those who understand this never walk in the dark again. Key 5. The faith that breaks biological logic. By faith, Sarah received power to conceive even though she was past age, because she believed in the one who promised. Sarah's faith is the key of supernatural expectation. Her womb was closed, her time expired, and biology said it was over. But this key breaks logic. It overrides clocks and charts. Faith isn't bound to age or fertility. It says, if he promised, I prepare. Sarah's mind detached from time and aligned with eternity. This key tells your body, you're not the final word. It's the mentality that refuses to bury a promise just because the clock ticked. Faith like this has no deadline, only direction. Key 6. The faith that gives up what you love. By faith, Abraham offered Isaac, his only son, the one who carried the promise. This is the key of sacrificial trust. It means placing your greatest treasure on the altar, not to lose it, but to prove that heaven still holds your heart. Abraham's spirit wasn't loud or frantic. It was surrendered. He didn't demand answers. He climbed the mountain in silence, believing that even if Isaac died, God would resurrect him. This key burns idols. It demands oxygen from your soul. And it shows that nothing on earth is above your trust in God. Key 7. The faith that declares the future. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning what had not yet happened. He spoke into the unseen. Isaac's faith is the key of prophetic declaration. It names outcomes before they exist. This faith doesn't follow the present. It shapes it. Though blind, Isaac's voice had clarity. He couldn't see the room, but he could speak destiny. This faith declares truth before it's visible. It doesn't need evidence, it creates it. It's not optimism. It's covenant speech. Key 8. The faith that chooses legacy over safety. By faith, Jacob blessed his grandsons while leaning on his staff. Fragile in body, firm in spirit. Jacob's faith is the key of generational vision. He released purpose, not fear. His story didn't end with survival. It ended with multiplication. Even while weak, he spoke strength. Even while shaking, he passed down clarity. This key teaches that faith doesn't retire. It builds platforms for the next to rise. It says, "My ceiling becomes your floor." This is the faith that builds lineages, not monuments. We're now halfway through the 16 keys hidden in Hebrews 11. If these truths are speaking to your spirit, leave a comment with the word unseen, so I know you're walking this path with us. Like the video, share it, and subscribe, because next, we'll enter the dimension of faith that refuses pleasure, sees invisible cities, rejects applause, and rewrites the logic of obedience. Faith is not a feeling, it's a structure. Let's keep building. Key 9, the faith that refuses comfort. By faith, Moses chose to suffer with God's people rather than enjoy the fleeting pleasures of Egypt. He had everything: power, privilege, position, but he walked away. Moses' faith is the key of purposeful suffering. It sees that temporary comfort can be a trap. This key is forged in silent refusals, hidden sacrifices, and decisions that nobody celebrates. Faith like this burns bridges to stay loyal to God. It's not the faith that gets applause. It's the faith that walks away while being misunderstood. Moses could have been remembered as a prince. Instead, he became a deliverer. Key 10. The faith that sees what's not built yet. By faith, Moses looked ahead to the reward. He saw something no one else did, a city not yet visible. Moses' faith is the key of visionary endurance. While others looked at bricks and pyramids, he looked at eternity. This key makes you walk toward what hasn't appeared yet. It makes you live for what doesn't yet exist. This faith gives your steps direction, even when your eyes can't confirm it. You become immune to temporary glory because your spirit is tethered to something greater. Key 11, the faith that says no to applause. By faith, Moses left Egypt not fearing the king's anger. He turned his back on the throne. This is the key of unseen strength. Applause didn't move him. Threats didn't break him. Faith like this doesn't perform for crowns. It doesn't obey out of fear. It's a quiet but explosive force, one that walks away from the system, trusting the invisible. Faith like this rewrites loyalties. It's not impressed by gold. It's obsessed with purpose. Moses didn't just leave Egypt physically, he left it mentally. Key 12. The faith that obeys without outcome. By faith, the Israelites passed through the Red Sea as on dry land. They stepped into water with no bridge, no backup plan. Their faith is the key of surrendered risk. They walked into uncertainty based only on a voice. There was no guarantee, only a call. This key doesn't wait for conditions to improve. It doesn't demand previews. It trusts the command even when logic breaks. This faith doesn't test the ground before stepping. It walks because God said so. We've now unlocked 12 of the 16 faith keys hidden in Hebrews 11. And if these keys have been unlocking something in your own spirit, this is just the beginning. In the final part, you'll discover the faith that rises from ashes, commands walls to fall, resists death, embraces exile, and walks the earth like it already belongs to another kingdom. Get ready, because faith is more than survival. It's the structure of spiritual dominion. Key 13. The faith that rises from ashes. By faith, women received their dead raised to life again. Others were tortured, not accepting release, so they might gain a better resurrection. This is the key of resurrection hope. Faith that doesn't collapse at the grave. It believes there's something beyond the casket, beyond the headline. This faith rises from ashes. It doesn't demand the miracle, but it makes room for it. This key lives with eternity in its lungs. It says, even if I lose here, I rise somewhere greater. Key 14. The faith that breaks walls. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell after being circled for 7 days. They didn't fall by logic. They fell by obedience. This is the key of silent warfare. Faith that marches without results. Obedience that doesn't negotiate. Jericho didn't crumble on day 1 or day 6. It took persistence without feedback. This faith doesn't quit just because nothing's changing. It knows when God speaks, movement isn't measured by sight. This key breaks systems that man calls permanent. Key 15. The faith that faces death without fear. By faith, some were mocked, imprisoned, stoned, sawed in two, or killed by the sword. They were too good for this world. This is the key of fearless sacrifice. Faith that doesn't panic when it costs everything. Not every faith story ends in triumph. Some end in fire. But the fire didn't win. The sword didn't silence them. This faith speaks through pain. It walks into the furnace and still sings. It's not suicidal, it's eternal. And eternity rewrites every scar. Key 16. The faith that walks as a stranger on earth. They wandered in deserts, mountains, caves, refusing to be at home in the world. This is the final key, pilgrim faith. Faith that doesn't decorate the temporary. It doesn't chase likes, titles, or applause. It lives as if heaven is already real. These people didn't blend in, they stood out. Not for pride, but for purpose. They walked like this earth was just a hallway, like they already belonged somewhere else. This is the faith that changes everything without needing to be seen. And now, the journey through the 16 hidden keys of Hebrews 11 is complete. But this is not the end. It's the beginning of seeing the world with different eyes. The kind of eyes that walk through silence, delay, pain, and uncertainty, yet never lose direction. If these keys unlock something in your spirit, comment, I see, share this message, like it, and above all, live it. Because the world doesn't need more content. It needs more faith. And faith is how the invisible becomes real.